Where is she?
I can take you to her and the rest of your family. Come on.
The movie begins at Madrid airport. We meet Will, who has just arrived from San Francisco after a trip that was anything but pleasant. To make matters worse, his luggage was mistakenly left behind, leaving him without any of his belongings and forcing him to go through the tedious process of retrieving them. Fortunately, his father, Martin, played by the legendary Bruce Willis, comes to pick him up, saving him from wasting an hour in a taxi line.
Will?
His mother, Lori, is overjoyed to see him. After all, he is a workaholic, and moments like this are rare for their family. To complete the reunion, we meet Josh, Will's younger brother, who is also happy he's there. Josh introduces his girlfriend Dee and hopes to gain their father's approval with Will's help. During dinner, Lori thanks everyone for making time for this week-long family trip.
Before we start, I just want to say how happy I am that we're all finally together around a table again. I didn't realize how much I'd missed this.
Family.
Nice. Family.
However, the cheerful mood fades when Will receives a phone call that visibly upsets him. A few minutes later, he confesses to his family that he is officially broke.
I'm sorry, Mom. I have just found out my company is officially bankrupt.
The next morning, the trip begins. Despite everyone's efforts to enjoy themselves, Will remains in a foul mood over his financial troubles. Distracted by his phone, he makes mistakes while handling the boat, leading to an accident that injures Dee in the heat of the moment.
I'm okay.
Oh my God.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You okay? You all right?
Martin grabs Will's phone and throws it into the ocean. Because of Will's carelessness, the boat's mast nearly struck Dee in the head. Luckily, she only suffers a minor cut, but that doesn't change the fact that it was all Will's fault. Feeling guilty, Will swims to shore to buy a new phone and medicine for Dee's wound. Meanwhile, his father struggles with reckless boat racers cutting across his path, making it difficult to maneuver near the rocky shore. When Will finally returns to the beach, his family's boat has disappeared. After searching for hours, he finally finds it on the other side of the reef, completely destroyed with no signs of his family. It is clear that something terrible has happened. Desperate, Will goes to the police.
Please, you gotta help me. Something's happened to my family.
Tranquilo.
What?
Only to discover that they are corrupt officers who take him to S, an armed man who promises to return his family in exchange for a favor.
Your mother told me.
Where is she?
I can take you to her and the rest of your family. Come on.
Suspicious of the situation, Will resists.
Hey, let me go! Get off me!
Knocks out the officers and steals a patrol car to escape. Unfortunately, the police catch up to him and begin beating him brutally. Luckily, his father suddenly appears and takes care of the officers. Martin then explains what happened. The people in the speedboats boarded their boat and kidnapped the girls and Josh. At this moment, Martin also confesses that he works for the CIA. Although he doesn't know where the family is, he promises they will get them back.
There's no way I could ever explain that to you. But we're gonna get your mother back, and Josh back, and Dara back.
After driving for a while, Martin meets with a woman named Crack who claims she can help retrieve his family. Martin asks her for a briefcase, but she says she already handed it over to the agency. However, she promises to try and get it back, telling him she will call once she has it. As Martin heads back to the car, a bullet suddenly pierces his chest. Will was not part of the plan, and when the sniper realizes he's there, he starts shooting at him as well. A masked group appears and takes Martin's body, while Will barely manages to escape with only his father's phone. Will desperately seeks help, but when he approaches a police officer, the officer suddenly drops dead. Shot by the same man who has been following Will. The other officers immediately assume Will is responsible and start chasing him. Now a fugitive, Will tries to keep calm and finds a change of clothes before heading to the U.S. Embassy. However, the embassy officials inform him that the CIA has no record of an agent named Martin Shaw, and that they cannot help him. Just as he is about to leave, Crack calls him. The embassy agent then releases Will, but takes him to the parking lot where Crack is waiting.
Will, it's Jean. Jean Carrick. I worked with your father.
As soon as she drives him away from the embassy, Will pretends to feel sick. When the moment is right, he seizes the opportunity and escapes. He boards a bus to get away from the city center. While checking his father's phone, he finds only one saved contact, Diego Caldera. Suddenly, his mother calls, begging him to hand the phone to his father.
Well?
Mom! Mom, are you okay?
Put your father on the phone. I need to speak to him now.
Mom. I can't.
Will has no choice but to tell her what happened. Immediately afterward, the kidnapper contacts him, demanding that he bring the briefcase to Puerto del Sol by 6 p.m. If he fails, his family will die.
6 p.m. Puerta del Sol. My briefcase or your family's dead.
Will is more confused than ever. He has no idea what briefcase they are talking about. However, since Diego's address appears on the phone, Will decides to visit him, hoping for answers. At Diego's office, Crack's driver ambushes Will, attacking him on sight. Fortunately, Will is young and strong, allowing him to win the fight. Soon after, Diego's niece, Lucia, appears, held hostage. The killer had been waiting for Diego to arrive so he could eliminate him. Will explains what little he knows and Lucia offers to take him to her uncle. However, when they arrive at Diego's apartment, they find him dead. To make matters worse, they realize someone else is inside. In the kitchen, Will spots Crack speaking with the man who has been stalking him and who killed the police officer earlier. Crack reveals the truth. Will's father was about to betray the United States by returning a vital piece of information to the terrorists.
He was about to betray his country, Will, and betray us, his team.
The same ones holding his family hostage. She insists that all she wants is the briefcase, which contains the stolen data. Before she can convince Will, Lucia appears with her uncle's gun, unleashing mayhem as bullets fly. Will and Lucia do their best to flee while Dixon pursues them over the rooftops. Will holds onto Lucia with a cable, trying to get her out of danger as they climb down the ledge. Once Lucia is safe, the protagonist is free to return Dixon's gunfire, buying himself a few vital seconds to tie the cable around his waist. He will need a lot of courage for what he plans to do. Will's jump is, at best, disastrous. Fortunately, Lucia manages to steal a motorcycle, and together they escape. As they flee, Will realizes he is wounded and losing a lot of blood. Lucia takes him to her friend Chris, a medical student, hoping he can help since they cannot go to a hospital. Using an unconventional method, Chris removes the bullet from Will's side and cauterizes the wound with a red-hot spoon to stop the bleeding. The pain is so intense that Will passes out, giving Lucia time to explain to Chris what on earth is going on later. Lucia notices a photo of Tom Keaton on the phone and asks Will about it. He replies that his name was not Tom but Martin, his father, now dead. If Will doesn't find that blessed briefcase, his family will soon be dead too. Then comes the biggest revelation of all. Martin didn't just have a second name, he had a second family. Lucia is his daughter. With time running out, Will has to go to Puerto del Sol to explain that he has no idea where the briefcase might be. Lucia cannot go with him, as it would expose her to unnecessary risk.
Okay.
I told you, I need to go alone.
If you need me, I'll be at the club. That's all.
There, he meets S, who takes him to a car where his boss is waiting, willing to listen. But first, they need to soften Will's attitude a little, which involves some torture.
Even if that's true.
Afterward, they show Will a video of his father killing an Israeli intelligence agent to steal a briefcase containing state secrets, the very briefcase they are now trying to retrieve. Will explains everything he knows. When S hears Crack's name, he realizes Will may not be so useless after all. A new deal is struck. If Will arranges a meeting with Crack so S and his men can ambush her, they may let his family go.
Will!
The irony is, I'll release them, and Carrick will kill them.
With the deal set, they leave Will stranded in the middle of nowhere with only a gun and a phone to contact them when the meeting is arranged. When he finally returns to Lucia, he meets Maximo, who offers to help them get revenge on the people who killed Diego. Maximo suggests using his club as the ambush site. After Will uses his credit card at the club, Dixon shows up and causes trouble. But Moxmo and his security team catch him and rough him up, just like S did to Will. They leave Dixon alone, but that turns out to be a mistake. He escapes. However, this is exactly what Will wanted, so they could follow him to Crack's hiding place. It turns out Crack had the briefcase the whole time. She was only chasing Will to kill him and cover her tracks. Now that Will sees where the deal is happening, he spots Crack and calls SS, tells him to leave.
Crawl back out of here. We'll take over now.
But Will refuses unless he gets information about his family. At that moment, everything falls apart, and a gunfight breaks out as S and his men try to kill Crack and take the briefcase. Dixon grabs the briefcase and tries to escape in a car. Will makes a daring move to stop him, and one of S's men shoots Dixon in the chest, making him lose control of the car. After the chaos, the briefcase is left on the ground. Suddenly, Crack appears with a machine gun, forcing Will to run while trying to keep Lucia safe. A minute later, Crack escapes in a flipped car, and Will steals another car to chase her. This leads to a high-speed chase through the city, which ends in a bad crash. Crack crawls out of her wrecked car and walks toward Will, ready to kill him. But just before she can shoot, S's men arrive to take the briefcase. Once they secure it, they take Crack's body away. Now that they got what they wanted, Will begs S to let his family go.
What about my family?
S keeps his promise and gives him their location. The movie ends with Will and his family meeting Lucia at the hospital, where S's men took her after the crash. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.